Folks, this is more than drama, being drama, Arab drama, Sheikh drama, etc., etc. Much more. The Standard daily newspaper in Kenya has reported today that when Uhuru Kenyatta, the president of Kenya, and His Excellency Raila Odinga were in Dubai, they actually met the Dubai ruler, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, to discuss, wait for this one, the gold saga. The meeting is said to have taken place on Saturday, 27th April. And at that meeting, the controversial audio clip that I played in my previous video was played to Uhuru and Raila. What? Mazito haya. Now, before we deeply analyze that, and I reveal a lot of information that I'm sure you don't have, let us take a look, at the reaction, the response from the DP Ruto camp over this scandal that is on Kenyans' minds just now. This gold saga that has left Kenyans just speechless. The DP Ruto camp are in celebration mode. They are very happy. They are dancing in the rain. Because for the first time, in a very long time, indeed as far back as I can remember, or any Kenyan can remember, there's a major scandal which has broken out in Kenya, and there's absolutely no mention of the name of William Samoei Ruto. Instead, there is the mention of Ruto's arch-rival, Raila Odinga. Now, in the ongoing political battle between these two camps, that is what you call a gift. The gold scandal is a gift to the DP Ruto camp, a game changer. Indeed, if truth be told, it has dramatically shifted the ground. How so? It has shifted the ground from there is one corrupt Kenyan messing up the country who wants to be president and must not be president at all costs. It has shifted the ground from that to every politician is corrupt. What shall we do? We Kenyans are on our own. What should we do next? The major national conversation going on has for the first time in very many months excluded the name of the deputy president. Unpredictably, what the strategists of the deputy president have done is to position the deputy president and his team as being on the forefront, of calling for action, to deal with this gold scandal. In other words, and this one will shock you, but it's absolutely true. In other words, I can officially announce that the gallant, noble fight against corruption in Kenya is finished. Even sadder is the fact that it is now crystal clear that the fight against corruption was not really a fight against corruption. It was a fight against Deputy President William Samoei Ruto, masquerading as a fight against corruption. Because it's widely known that if you're serious about fighting corruption, you don't huff and puff, you strike. But what Kenyans have been treated to is a lot of huffing and puffing. The grilling of a cabinet CS, nothing happens to them after that. We are told that Kenyan officials, including a CS, in fact more than one CS, were captured on CCTV, meeting with foreigners in a foreign country. And they carried off huge bags filled with cash as bribes, and flew back to Kenya on their diplomatic passports. But so far, this CCTV has never been seen anywhere. Even with this evidence available, the people on that CCTV footage have not been brought to justice. All you hear are complaints, the judiciary this, evidence this, just excuses. All this should be very conclusive evidence to Kenyans that actually Unfortunately, sadly, there was never a fight against corruption in Kenya. However, to be fair and factual, this huffing and puffing has had a positive effect. It has created fear in Kenya. It has dramatically reduced corruption in Kenya. That is the truth. But apart from that, nothing more. And the huge danger here is that the corruption cartels could swing back into action, go back into business, being very sure that the worst that can happen tomorrow or in future is for somebody to huff and puff when things go out of hand and there's too much corruption in the country, is to huff and puff and get a few people arrested, and that's it. Bottom line, it would tell them that it is safe to go back into the water. What am I talking about? The huge ocean in Kenya called corruption. Now, there's an interesting point here. Some Kenyans are complaining, why is DP Ruto not mentioning the name of the president? In connection to this gold scandal. He's just focusing on Raila, his old enemy. Actually, to be honest, without any emotions and without favoring any side, the audio clip said that Raila had been briefed and was going to see the president. It does not say that the president received Raila and his proposals, and actually implemented them. And therefore, so far, whether you like it or not, there is no way to pin the president of Kenya down on this one, not even to connect him. Those are the facts. However, sadly, there is something else more powerful than the facts, and sometimes overrides the facts, and it's something called perception. Because the perception of Kenyans right now is that everybody was involved. All politicians are corrupt, without exception. That is the perception of the Kenyan public. Now, I sense you still have a lot of doubts about what I'm saying. So let me illustrate it further. Some people release an audio tomorrow and they say that they have planned something. They have got about 1 billion Kenyan shillings. And somebody who is close to Kumekucha is going to be approached, or rather has already been approached, and in fact is said to have already seen Kumekucha with this 1 billion shilling proposal. Now, to be fair to Kumekucha, the facts are that people said they were going to approach him. We do not know what Kumekucha's response was. We don't know whether or not Kumekucha accepted this 1 billion Kenya shillings to sell his soul. Unless and until evidence can emerge confirming that Kumekucha accepted the money. Maybe another audio of Kumekucha saying, "Thank you very much. This is what I was waiting for." Unless that emerges, it would be grossly unfair to accuse Kumekucha of accepting a bribe. You don't have the evidence. The only evidence you have is people saying that they have approached Kumekucha. However, also in this example, perception would put Kumekucha in the middle of the scandal. People would say Kumekucha received 1 billion. That would be perception. And as I've always said, perception often overrules the facts. And so, let's move on. Very quickly, what is the consequence or the impact of this latest development in the ongoing Tanga versus Keleweke war, political war? What is the impact? Well, let's use soccer to illustrate what I want to say. After trailing, trailing means you're losing by 1 goal. The Tanga team has sensationally, dramatically equalized. The score now is 1-1. Now here's the big news, the screaming headline. When a team draws, what does it mean? It means that that team in fact has momentum. That team is now a possible winner of this duel. Whether you like it or not, whether you hate them or you love them, those are the facts. The Tanga team has drawn level. Of course, it is possible that the Keleweke team could score again, and take the lead once again. That's extremely possible. However, those who have followed soccer for many years know the following. When a team equalizes, it has the advantage of momentum. They are the ones who are most likely to score again. Isn't that the truth? I'm asking soccer fans. However, having said that, there's something else here, which is what is most likely going to happen. A soccer game is not the best illustration to portray what is happening in Kenya at the moment. Why? Because the truth is, there are three camps, not two. There's Tanga, there's Keleweke, and then there's the most powerful group that could easily shift, change the game altogether. The third component in this competition is the long-suffering people of Kenya. So far, they are losing very badly. If you insist that I must give you a soccer score, the Kenyan people are losing by 100 goals to 0. Maybe even 1,000. Because they have the most to lose. And even as these jokers, both teams, Keleweke and Tanga, continue their antics, the Kenyan people continue to suffer. Poverty-stricken Kenyans go to these meetings and get very excited over the drama as these two teams trade barbs and punches. And then these same Kenyans go back home very hungry to face an equally hungry family. In the unique cases where maybe they've received a small handout for attending the meeting, very rare, but when it happens, all that has happened is that their hunger has been postponed to tomorrow. But here is a scandal, the gold scandal, which has come along and underlined the fact to Kenyans that all politicians are selfish and corrupt. They're after their own needs. They're after the development of themselves and their families and loved ones, rather than that of the people of Kenya who elected them into office. And many people have acknowledged the fact that this third force in this political battle, the people of Kenya, are very powerful. And they could easily pull the rug from under both the Tanga team and the Keleweke group. Many believe it is only a matter of time. Anyway, let us now go back to Dubai. Tucked in the very last paragraph of this sensational, shocking Standard newspaper article, was something that just floored me. The article said that it had been confirmed that the senator flew to Dubai to meet with the royal family and to reassure them that he had the contacts to deal with this matter on their behalf. Now hold on a minute. Isn't that something you do on the phone? What would necessitate somebody going into an aircraft and flying all the way to Dubai, 6 hours or so, and then once you're there, finishing the meeting and then flying all the way back? First of all, there's a cost element. What would necessitate somebody to do this, to go into all this trouble? You tell me. In my view, it is obvious, okay? But I want you to do your own thinking today. And let me emphasize, there are no two reasons. There's only one glaring reason, which leads me to believe that it is highly possible that in this gold manenos, the person who will be thrown under the bus, the person who will take the fall for everybody involved, and especially for big fish and big stones which cannot be turned, is most likely going to be the said senator. Now, before we go any further, let us get rid of a myth amongst many Kenyans. Indeed, I believe a myth which was also ruling the decisions made by those involved in this scandal. And that is a myth that the Arabs in Dubai are lazy. They're just sitting around, selling petroleum and enjoying the huge wealth from the petrol. And they're not doing much thinking. And let us do that by digging just a little deeper and very quickly into the background of the man, the most powerful man, bang in the middle of these gold manenos. And that is the ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Now, since Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid took over in 2006, after the death of his brother, major reforms have happened in Dubai. He is the main force and instigator of the idea in Dubai that has boggled the minds of many. That's the reclaiming of the ocean to create islands which have been sold to billionaires. Islands off the coast of Dubai. And the objective of Sheikh Mohammed was to promote tourism to Dubai. And of course this idea has worked like a charm. And there's even one of these islands, which is still under construction, which is shaped in the words of his poetry. Oh yes, the Sheikh is a renowned poet. He is a renowned poet in his native Arabic. The long and short of any biography on the Sheikh is that he's a high achiever, and he has chalked up quite a lot of achievements, even long before he became the ruler of Dubai. For instance, in 1971, when the United Arab Emirates came into being, he was the very first Minister of Defense. Oh yes, and it's because he has got a military training background. A military training that includes intelligence and counterintelligence skills. Which leads me to ask you a simple question. A man with such a background, how long do you think it will take him to find out the truth? In case you are lying to him that his gold has been seized at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. How long do you think it would take him to find out? In my view, I would be very surprised if it took more than 5 minutes. If it took him more than 5 minutes, I would be extremely shocked. Anyway, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid is also one of the major forces, indeed the major force, behind the launching of the Emirates airline, which is one of the leading airlines today. It undertook its maiden flight only on 25th October 1985. But is today recognized as the leading airline, in my view, in the whole world. Fascinatingly, the launch of this airline took place under very interesting circumstances. There was a dispute with Gulf Air over the open skies policy of Dubai. And so, Sheikh Maktoum and his bosses said, what the four-letter word? We're just going to launch our own airline. And they're said to have put $10 million on the table in cash. And then another additional $75 million, which launched this airline, the Emirates. And maybe I also need to mention this before we move back to our main topic. In 2012, Sheikh Mohammed Rashid rode a horse, wait for this one, for 160 kilometers to win a World Endurance Championship. Now what does that tell you? It tells you that the Sheikh is in very good physical condition. Because somebody who's fat and overweight and unfit will hardly be able to accomplish such a feat. So this is the man some corrupt Kenyans are toying with. What do you think the consequences will be? Jijazie. Now in the meeting with the Kenyan leaders, Sheikh Rashid revealed that the conversation, the audio conversation, was between his nephew, Ali Zandi, and his Kenyan contact, a senator. So now we know the identity of the other person in that audio. And I hope you have taken careful note of something else related to this audio. We now know the source of that audio. And indeed, this also points to the most likely source of the leak. And you'll remember Ali Zandi's words in that audio. When he said, it will be a disaster for you and also for me. But of course, first for you. It will be a disaster if what happens? It will be a disaster if this deal falls through. If the people in Dubai fail to receive their goods. Which brings us to the value of those goods. Now, the figures we have had so far are 250 million, 400 million. Now, I have no option but to assume those figures are related to the facilitation fees paid out, or rather bribes given for the release of these goods, because they would come nowhere near the value of the gold in question. Because the gold Dubai are waiting for is 4.6 tons. Now, if we were to value that gold at the prices today, the value would be, wait for this one, over 18.8 billion Kenya shillings. Now, that is the kind of money any African government today would have major problems raising. Let's not even talk about the current economic situation of the Kenyan government. And I believe we all know one thing for sure, and that is this gold belonging to Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. There's no question about it. This man will have to receive his gold. It does not matter what people will have to do. That's irrelevant. But this guy must and will receive his gold. And if not his gold, is 18.8 billion. Oh, and is also now claiming is 400 million facilitation fees. Because when you pay a fee, you expect a service to be delivered. And if the service is not delivered, then you need to refund the fees paid to you. That is simple business logic. And all signs in Kenya at the moment are that the government is in a serious crisis over these gold manenos. And that is why it becomes very hard to believe a story given to us by Raila handlers, that the reason why he flew to the Democratic Republic of Congo on Friday was mostly related to some infrastructural projects. That is like a man walking out of his burning house, to buy sukuma wiki, and his house is on fire. Yes, we know they like sukuma wiki. Yes, we know they have to buy sukuma wiki. But the timing, manze, the timing. Now, I'm sure Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum has a very good command of the English language. Why am I sure? Because he had schooling of several years in the United Kingdom. But my point is, during meetings, he still speaks his native Arabic and then has a translator. And so, I can only imagine his message to Kenyans right now. He would say something like, in Arabic. Translation, mtajua amjui. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.